Hey everybody, welcome to our weekly Diesel Dreamers call. Today is October 20th, 2015, and we're joined by the lovely Monica Lopez. A little bit about Monica, for those of you who might not know her. Well, first off, she's super awesome, super fun, likes to have a good time, and is just a really cool person to be around. Has really good spirit and energy around her. She's married to Johan. They've been together for 12 years. She is the mommy of three beautiful kids, Jason, Jackson, and Mia. She signed up as a coach in 2011, and she retired herself as a paralegal and went full-time 2 years ago. She's currently a six-star diving coach, so that's amazing. She's a 2014 elite coach. She's an ex-Success Club all-star, and she'll be a legend in 1 month. So go Mo. She's the co-founder of Diesel Corp, and she co-founded that team with her mom, right? Her and her mom are like success partners, super badasses. Also, something she didn't mention when I asked her for accolades, but I'm pretty sure everyone who has her on Facebook knows, she was a participant for the Hammer and Chisel test group and got phenomenal results and was even asked to be featured in the infomercials. So last week when she was in California for the leadership event, they flew her out straight to LA and filmed and stuff. So that's like really, really, really cool and awesome. Congratulations, Monica.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So at the end, you could share a little bit about how cool that whole experience was. But anyways, let's get to it. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm really excited to have you on. So thank you again for spending the night with us. So first question is, how did you get started with Team Beachbody?
Okay, so many of you may or may not know Christina Delgado, which is one of our founding Diesel Nation sisters. She was my boss, and we worked together for many years before Beachbody was even in the realm of our thinking. And she had her son DJ a couple of months before I had my second son Jackson. And she got into this coaching thing because Becky made her. That's the truth. And when she started to drink Shakeology and lose all this weight, and she hadn't done a fitness program yet, I started paying attention to what she was doing. And she had started to pick up, I think it was Insanity Asylum, if I remember correctly back then. And I really started to see some weight come off. And I'm like, here we are both months apart from being postpartum. And she's getting like massively dropping weight and I'm not. So I told her, I want to do what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. And so she tried to sell me the shake. And I was like, I'm not paying $100 for a shake, but I'll do whatever workout you're doing. So we decided to do a round of Asylum together. We completed. And again, her results were like banging and mine sucked. I had some changes, but nothing drastic. And she told me again, I'm telling you, the difference is this shake. And so one day I came to the office and she literally plopped a bag on my desk that says, it's on me, just drink it. And so we kid that till today. I'm still trying to prove to her how much Shakeology sucks and it's not worth it. But she's the one that started me in the business. And funny enough, I became, so I think there's 3 levels of coaching. There's obviously discount coaches. I started there. There's hobby coaching where you still intend to continue whatever job you're doing, but you're kind of just earning money on the side. And I was there for quite a while where I'm a little embarrassed about this sometimes, but I wanted to pay for a tummy tuck. I really wanted a tummy tuck after my kids. I have a lot of excess skin and loose skin after the 3 kids. And that was like my why, that was my why for a long time. But little by little, certain things started happening in my life and it drew me into being a full-blown business builder. And it gave me leeway to leave my job and do this full time. And so that's how I started. It was just like hitting every level of coaching. But it was Christina sharing her journey with me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I hope now you know that Shakeology does not suck.
It does not suck.
It's pretty awesome. Okay. So the next question kind of backtracking. How do you say that? Piggybacking off of the first, yeah. So what was your big aha moment or what happened that made you really see and understand the opportunity with the business?
So it was kind of like a real personal thing that happened to me. And it was it was something that where life just put my back against the wall, and I was like, okay, I got to do this because now I have no choice. My third baby, Mia, which was our only baby girl, because I have 2 boys, and then she was the lucky third baby girl. She, about 2 months old, I noticed something was really off with her eye. Every time she would cry, it would get all black and blue and swollen. It looked like her eye was coming out to the side. And I'm like, something is wrong. And I'm a mom of 3, so we're already by that time, you're conditioned not to go running to the hospital for every little thing. And I was pretty convinced that it was a clogged tear duct. So I kept putting like warm things on her, compressions, and trying to get this tear duct to unclog. Well, it wasn't getting better. And one day I took a picture of her, sent it to the pediatrician, and he told me, get to Miami Children's right now. Turns out she had a tumor. It's a blood tumor called a hemangioma in her eye right here. And long story short, this tumor grows with blood flow. And so obviously an infant that always cries creates blood flow straight up to the head. And this tumor was growing and growing and growing and pushing her eye out. And she was on the verge of losing her eye, losing her vision. And she was only 2 months old. So I was getting off maternity leave, and when I went back to work, they were pretty understanding for a while. Mind you, her treatment was 6 months long, and I had to be in the hospital twice a week because they had to administer a special medicine. And when she drank the medicine, she had to be under observation for 2 hours. So I would lose an entire day of work. And, my job was only so much understanding. And there came a point where I said something has to give, because this lasted 6 months, and here I am, I'm getting slack from my job. I'm not getting paid for the time I'm off because I already ate through personal time. And I really, honestly, at the time, I just felt grateful that I had already started this and I had some kind of foundation and I was making a pretty decent income, where I took a leap of faith and I quit. And that's what made me go full in. I mean, it was my back against the wall, and life just happened to me. And I'm very grateful that I had this to fall back on. And now I'm doing better than ever.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for sharing that personal story and experience, because I'm sure that inspires a lot of us to really push it, that especially like in times of like you have another choice, you have to make it happen, and clearly you have, so that's amazing. And your kids get to reap the benefits of that because you're with them all the time. You go to school and you have that flexibility. You don't have to worry, like you said, about, asking somebody for time off or feeling like, you're juggling like this and that. Okay, so is there also coming off of that question, is there a certain event you attended, or maybe a call or something like Summit that really like opened your eyes, like, wow, this is like legit and real?
Yeah, so I didn't quit my job right away when that happened. That happened around March or April, around there, when Mia was starting to, we noticed. We had our first summit. The first one Johan and I ever attended was that June. And he was always supportive of the business, always supportive, but he didn't really understand it. He didn't really get it. He just felt like, oh, that's your workout stuff. That's good for you. I'm over here. It was when he attended that summit with me where I'll never forget it. He looked at me. He's like, quit your job now. You're meant for this. Oh. And so if any of you guys are married or in a relationship, a long-term relationship, and your partner's not sure whether, about this, or you're not sure what part they play, I'm going to tell you right now, the best advice I could ever give you is have them present with everything that you do. Because having them present, they don't have to work the business with you. They don't have to do anything, but they have to understand it. And they have to understand your passion. And they have to understand your drive. So that's one big piece of advice I can give to anybody in a relationship, is have them know why you're doing this and feel why you're doing this, even if they don't want to join you.
Thank you. Todd, did you hear that? That's
the honorary Diesel Dreamers did hear all of that. That was the nodding and are you listening?
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Monica, and thank you, Johan, for believing in you and seeing that this was meant for you and supporting you in whatever you do with the business. So what's one core activity you engage in that has grown your business?
I am a big believer in social media. Everybody needs to be active on social media, consistent on social media. I show up every single day. There's not a day that goes by that not something's posted from me. If I'm having a terrible day and I don't even want to get out of bed, I post that I'm having a terrible day and I don't even want to get out of bed. But that is, warm markets, you're going to run through them. And that's, if you don't know what a warm market is, your friends, your family, your coworkers, people around you that already know you and trust you. But in order to earn other people's trust, you have to create connections, and you have to create this world where they know that you're legit and you're consistent and it's not just a phase for you. So it plays a big role, because today, 4 years into the business, and having my mom, who's also a 6-star, having my sister in the business, who's also a diamond, having my dad in the business, who's also a diamond, obviously we have no warm market. it's like all been up. So social media today is about 90% of my business. I would say the other 10 is word of mouth. So if I could tell you one thing not to ever give up on, and I know it's a small, climb upwards until you start building some kind of audience, is hit social media every single day. It's important.
Do you have a specific posting schedule you stick to, or you just post as you go throughout the day?
I'm actually one of those, I don't like scheduling posts. I really don't. I just like to be me and project who I am. I want it to be authentically me. I'm not saying that people that post is bad. Some people have full-time jobs and have to, and that's perfectly fine. But that's how I do it. But I do know, and I do abide by the fact that rush hour in social media is usually 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is the time where people are coming to and from work, or there's, everybody, I cannot be the only one that wakes up and the first thing you do is look at your phone. So this is the time where you're going to catch people's attention, and you might be catching them where they try to get ready for work and nothing fit, or they left work and they feel terrible, sluggish, lethargic, and they're like, I need a change. And those are the prime times to connect with people and get them, to see what you're doing and to feel what you're doing.
Great tip. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so looking back, what would you have done differently when starting out, or is there something you wish you would have known or implemented from the beginning that you see the benefit of doing now?
I think everybody's going to want to punch me in the face when I say this, but I wish I would have listened and done personal development from the very beginning. I did not, and I'll be honest. I'm not a reader. I'm also, I don't know, I guess I like to say I'm rough. I used to be rough around the edges, where to me, personal development meant fluff. It was all this psychobabble stuff I didn't need. And I convinced myself of that, and I didn't give into it, and I didn't learn. And so what happens is that we are so conditioned to be who we are, right? Because we've been living our lives like that we don't think that we have not a problem, but we don't think we have to alter the way we think or do things. And that's so incorrect, because if you've ever studied the colors, or or the gems or anything like that, that there's so many personalities out there, and everybody's different. And as a leader, because we all want to be leaders in this business, right? You don't want to be a follower, you want to be a leader. Leaders in this business have to learn to speak other people's language. And so that was a big thing that I had to learn to do, and a big thing I needed to learn about leadership, about owning it, all those kinds of things, about bettering myself. I didn't realize how many insecurities I had until I did have to be a through and through leader. And so all those things is working on yourself from the inside out. And I wish I had done that in the beginning, because I would have I would have gone through, or didn't have such a big learning curve when it came to leadership.
Definitely.
Get out there, do it. It's worth it. And I hate reading. So I do a lot of audio.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Personal development is number one vital behavior, at least in my eyes. I think it's helped me the most, and I truly believe that that's what we should be engaging in.
It's everything.
No matter what.
Yeah, it's the workout for your mind. So we're so conditioned to work out for our body. Yeah, fantastic. But if you're skipping this part, it's not going to work.
Agreed. So next question, how do you promote your challenges, your business opportunity calls, sneak peeks? Do you have any tips for getting people engaged or interested?
There's a book called, I read this one. There's a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, and it's about social media. And this one helped me out tremendously. And this taught me, I kind of knew it already. I had figured it out for myself, that you know how we say 80-20, where you need to talk about 80% of who you are, the things that you like, the things that you want, you do, things that are going to give people a way to connect with you. But the other 20% will be the actual business post, right? Well, Jab, 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 Right Hook made a little bit more sense for me. It's talking about the jabs are you, your workout, the book you're reading, something funny, jokes, inspirational stuff. And every so often, so for every 3 jabs, it doesn't have to be 3 posts, but you get what I'm saying. About 3 jabs, you need to go in for the hook. And the hook is inviting to a challenge group, business opportunity call, a business post, anything, whether it was about a vacation you just took or a bill you paid off, all those things that sometimes can be a little uncomfortable to post. But if you're doing your job properly with all your jabs, your hooks are going to be effective. At the same time, if you're constantly only jabbing, I post my workout, I post my food, I post my kids, I post this, and I never go in for the hook, nobody's going to know that this is a business. They're going to think she's got a fantastic hobby. Good for her. Nobody's going to know that you're running a business and that you have the ability to help them. So it's vital that you're out there jabbing and hooking and doing more jabbing than you are hooking, but still plugging in it.
For sure. Yes, that was a great nugget. I definitely take away from that. I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's important, like you said, to share content that's relatable and, posting about yourself and your life so that way people are attracted to you and your lifestyle, but also putting it out there that you are running a business, that you are helping people, that you are running groups, that, you have something else to offer people.
Absolutely.
So next is, do you have any systems in place for onboarding new coaches and training your team in general?
Okay, so onboarding new coaches, I always tell my team, KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. I'm not calling them stupid, but I'm just saying we try to keep it simple. There's only really 3 groups ever running in my teams. That's the new coach training, Emerald to Diamond, and social media bootcamp. Because if not, we get all crazy and all these kinds of trainings and everybody, it's information overload. But those are the 3 things that are vital for a new coach that's coming on to get through. And sometimes, like we all know this as coaches, sometimes we hear stuff, but we're not quite ready to hear it. Like it didn't sink in. So I like to run these all the time, and I always invite veteran coaches to join because they never know like what nugget they're going to walk away with or what aha moment they're going to have with the same information they've been hearing, but it was their time to hear it. So those are the 3 systems that we keep going all the time. And then obviously we have an open coach page for any questions at all times.
Okay. Do you do like a personal getting started right call with each of your new coaches, or you just training?
I do, and I used to a long time ago do a team-wide GSR, but I stopped that because I realized that I was not giving other leaders the ability to lead by taking over that. So I train my coaches, my personally sponsored coaches, to get used to doing GSR calls. And I take care of my own coaches that come in, and that's a responsibility that's on each person that brings in those coaches.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I love the idea of having like a social media training. Do you keep it short, like 5 to 10 days, or how long?
Yeah, none of my trainings past 15 days. And that's if it, like usually social media will be 15 days because people enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff that sometimes can boggle their brain, like, new coach training or Emerald to Diamond, I like to keep them 10 days.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I love the KSS.
I had a high school teacher that used to say that to us all the time.
How funny. Okay, so next, how do you balance your business along with other responsibilities such as having another job, which you did at the beginning, your family, your home, your kids, your social life, etc.?
I'll tell you that when I used to work, I felt like I was a little bit more organized. It's funny because I thought that when I would come home and be full-time, I'd be like, I'd have all this time. I'd be so good. My business would explode. But what happens is once I came home, then laundry I started worrying about. I started worrying about the house being clean. I started worrying, and so different things started coming up that honestly, I had to really enforce time management once I came home. If you're working right now, I can tell you that, listen, I woke up at 5 o'clock every morning and got my workout in before my job because I knew if I got home at night, I was going to be exhausted. And my sister's on this call as well, and she's actually been implementing that on her business as well, and it's been working phenomenally. She gets up in the morning, works out, and then she's feeling fantastic for the rest of her day, and she doesn't have to worry about it. I did the same thing when I was working full-time. I held all my team calls either to and from work or late at night, like right now when my kids were sleeping. And so I ran this business, and I would post on my lunchtime, after work, all those primetime rush hour moments that I told you guys about. And that's how I ran my business before I came home. Now that I'm home, if any of you guys are planning to go full-time and that's your goal, know that it's a switch up, and you have to, I mean, I make a to-do list every single day. If I don't have a to-do list, I'm like off with the wind. So I make to-do lists, and I just tell myself, and I got this from Tony Robbins, I just try to win each day. Like, I don't think about yesterday, I don't think about tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I want to end my day and say, did I push my business forward? Did I help someone? Did I get on a call? Did I, you know? And so, or I ask myself this, and they ask us this in leadership, funny enough. If what I did today, if my coach did the same, would it move their business forward? Right? So you have to, you know, make sure that you're always keeping yourself in check, you know, doing that gut check. Like, am I doing the right things? And the way I keep track is to-do lists.
I love that. I love that you said, did I win the day, and not really focusing on, you know, what your shortcomings maybe were yesterday, or, you know, becoming anxious of all the stuff you need to get done in the following day. Just focusing on that day, being clear with your intentions, writing your to-do list, following it, and just sticking to that. And I think for the coaches on here that are balancing, you know, their business, getting it started with work and everything, just setting like an hour a day, a power hour, and just, you know, getting it all taken care of at once would be helpful if they don't have the luxury of having all day. Which, I mean, it's not really, like you said, like, there's other things that come up, distractions and other responsibilities you have too. So just because you're full-time at home doesn't mean, you know, you're just lounging around all day, but just being very intentional with your time and being effective with it.
Yes.
So next is, what's your favorite personal development book or audio?
Okay, so I think anybody, if you're doing this business and you haven't read GoPro yet, start tomorrow. That's like a must. That is learning the business that you're in. GoPro is vitally important to your business. Okay, so aside from that, because GoPro teaches you what we do as network marketers. My all-time favorite, and I actually just read it about a month ago, and it's been something that's just been aha to me, is You Are a Badass. I love that book. I read it twice, front to back, and I took so many notes on that one, and I really loved, because here's the thing about me and personal development books sometimes. I sometimes feel like I start a book, and the point is, it comes across in the first chapter. I'm like, okay, I get it. And then the next chapter's re-saying the same point over and over, and I'm like, I don't need to read the whole book. I get it. Okay, I'm going to eat the frog, you know? But You Are a Badass, each and every chapter applied to a different part of life, and she did it so beautifully, and so much made sense to me, and I could apply so much of it. And I read it again for therapy to really just like grasp it all. So that's my favorite.
I agree. I love that book. I read it about a year ago, and something that I do every month, like the last 2 days of the month, I listen to the audio of that book. I suggest that you do too, because she narrates it and she does a really great job, and it like fires you up. Like, I love it.
It's awesome. I love her personality. I love her. It's just a great book.
Agreed. Okay, so what's one action step you recommend we do right now that will help us move our business forward?
It's a good one. I hear so many times in my business, well, I figure by the time my team gets this big, I'll be a leader. Or, oh, you know, I'll fill into feeling that way, because right now I don't feel like I know enough. And if I could tell you one little piece of advice that helped me once I decided to make this decision, it is a decision, is decide to own your business. Like, really own it. Decide that you're going to be a leader. Decide that you don't need to have all the answers, but you're going to find them. And when you make that decision where you're going to stand on your own 2 feet, you're going to host calls, you're going to gather your team, you're going to rally them, you're going to tell them, you know, you're going to, it's like this thing where you're going to be the face of your business and say, like, let's do this together. When you own it and you know your value as a coach and you know the value of what you bring, everything will change. It's total mindset. I swear. It doesn't matter if your team is 2 people strong or 200. It doesn't matter. Having that mindset is what is going to attract the right people to you. And if you are uncertain, people are going to feel your uncertainty. So make that change. And I swear it's a change up here.
Yes, like, amen. That was great. Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. So yeah, owning your business, taking responsibility for where you are and where you want to go. Like you said, no matter how big or small your team is currently, If you believe that you're going to take this business to another level and become an amazing leader and create whatever kind of opportunities you want with this and help other people do it, you can. You just got to believe in yourself. So last question is, what are you most proud of? And it doesn't have to be Beachbody related. So.
Well, you think it's hammer chisel, don't you? You think it's that, right?
Yes.
Let me tell you guys something. Hammer chisel was awesome. And what I'll kind of plug into, because you wanted me to talk about my experience.
Mm-hmm.
We were at leadership, which obviously leadership in itself is like, it's actually like a mini summit, but way more intimate and way more involved. So it's even better. And it's the top 2% of the business. So you're running around with the best of the best in the business. So it can be a little frightening, okay? Because when you're a little small fish in a big pond, you know, it's scary. So it's a lot of emotional stuff happening. Now, couple that with getting a call on the second day you're there saying, guess what? We picked you for the infomercial. There was only 30 coaches in the test group, and only 12 got picked to film. And Becky Brosset and I, who were both Diesel Nation coaches, got picked. So it was a huge, huge deal that we got picked to go. But they were like, but the catch is you got to leave straight from leadership straight to Los Angeles. So from San Diego to Los Angeles, and we're going to keep you for another 5 days. At the time, I was just like crying, like boo-hoo crying, like, yes, whatever you need, I'll do it. Well, fast forward, by the time I got home, I was missing my kids so much. I would call home and FaceTime with my kids, and my older one would talk to me, the baby would talk to me. With my middle son, he did not want to get on the phone. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me. And so at the moment, I was like, oh, he's just being shy, whatever. Okay, by the time I get home, he'll be happy. He'll get it. It's okay. But when I finally got home, I got home on a Thursday, very late at night. That Friday, I had to host a Hispanic Super Saturday. Then that Saturday, I spent with the kids, but then Sunday, they woke up and I wasn't home again because I was at Super Sunday. And this little kid, you could tell, he was so upset with me that by the time I got home, I have it on the refrigerator. I got to go get it for you guys. But I got home, and my husband says that he was sitting at the stairs waiting to give me this piece of paper. And he drew. Oh, and mind you, here's the missing piece of the puzzle. My sister also tells me that his teacher told her the whole time I was gone, he was having a lot of disciplinary problems. He was acting up. He wasn't happy. He was behaving bad in school. When I get home, he hands me this picture. And it's a picture of all 5 of us. And he drew the house, he drew the pool, and he put hearts everywhere. And he says, Mommy, you need to stay home.
Aww.
Like at the moment, obviously, I start boo-hoo crying. I'm like, oh, I'm a failure. What did I do? But then I realized, what happened to me was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. He's a kid. He's not going to get it now. It's not like it happens all the time. But then it solidified to me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this around and think about it for what it is. This solidified to me that the fact that I made these changes in my life, that I made these sacrifices to be home with my kids is everything. It is everything for them. They recognize it. They know it. And I don't know how many of you guys are mothers on this call. Are you guys mothers? Anybody? No? Okay. Well, when you are, I can't see everybody, by the way. I can only see like 2 people. But when you are a mom, those things you're going to mean everything. And you're going to want to spend as much time with them, and you want to give them the best possible life. And that's going to come out of like your soul to give to them. And so that is my biggest accomplishment, is that I did it. And I'm home, and he doesn't have to go through that all the time. He just has to go through that every once in a while. Mommy gets picked.
Yes.
So that's it.
Congratulations on all your success. And I know that your kids and your husband and your whole family, and you are, amazing, and they're all proud of you. So even though, he was missing you and had a little moment, like you said, it's all worth it. You're doing this for them. They're the reason why you're trying so hard and pushing your business, because in the end, it's for your family. And thank you so much for this call. It was amazing. I think we all took a lot of golden nuggets from what you said. If anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself now. If not, then we're all good. Thumbs up if you're good. No questions? We're good. Well, thank you so much, Monica. You're amazing. I love it.
Welcome.
And we'll take a quick picture so everybody.
Oh, and by the way, I want you guys to know how cool your leader is. Look at this awesome bracelet she gifted me. She comes to me and asks me what my favorite color is. I tell her pink, and she shows up the next day with this beautiful bracelet as a thank you for being on this call. Like, not many people are that amazing and thoughtful. So thank you, Paulina. You're awesome. You're special.
Thanks. Okay. Okay. Everybody smile. Awesome. Thank you again. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll send you the link in the morning. I'll upload it to YouTube so in case you want to share with your team or if anyone wants to listen to the replay. Thank you everyone who was on live and have a great night. It's almost the end of the month. We have 11 days to, well, 10 days to kick butt, earn Success Club. Monica can tell you how important Success Club is. So get it done. It's a privilege to be in this business and to have the opportunity to help people change their lives every single day. So own your business and get it done. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night.
Bye guys.
Thank you again.